My name is Andriy. I'm 53 now, but I want to tell you a story that began when I was only 19. It's about my journey, my losses, and what home truly means. I was born in a small town in western Ukraine. My parents were simple people, my father an electrician, my mother a nurse. We didn't have much, but our house was always warm. At school, I was an average student. Not excellent, but not bad either. Yet I loved to dream. I wanted to see the world, to step beyond the borders of our little town. After graduation, I entered a technical college. That's where adulthood caught me for the first time. Dorm life, new friends, the first money in my pocket. In the dorm, I met Olena. She was 2 years older, beautiful, with long hair, and most importantly, always smiling. We started dating. But then came the army. I didn't avoid it. At 18, 19, it felt like a real adventure. We were sent to serve in the Far East. The army quickly showed me what adult life really meant. Cold, discipline, orders, and a sergeant yelling every step of the way. But I endured. Letters from Olena were my only comfort. I would read them 10 times over, imagining her waiting for me. But when I returned 2 years later, Olena was gone. She had married another. To me, it felt like the world collapsed. I grieved for a long time. Youth is cruel. It seems like your whole life is ahead, but the first betrayal cuts the deepest. Years passed. I was 25 when I married Natalia. She was a simple girl from my town, but with a kind heart. We had a son, Sergey. When I held him for the first time, I knew, now I had a reason to live. The 1990s brought chaos. The factory was closing, salaries weren't paid. I worked wherever I could, as a loader, a builder, even at the market. It was tough. I remember in 1998, we ate only potatoes and pasta. But we endured. Natalia always supported me. She would say, "The main thing is that we're together. We'll get through everything else." Our son grew. I saw myself in him, only better. He loved football and dreamed of becoming an engineer. When he turned 18, he entered the Polytechnic University in Kyiv. I cried with pride. Natalia and I were left alone in our old house, and I realized life had flown by. In 2014, the war came. Serhiy volunteered to fight. We tried to stop him, but he said, "Dad, if not me, then who?" I couldn't sleep at night, waiting for a call. Any noise in the yard made my heart clench. In 2016, news came. My son was wounded. He survived, but he was no longer the carefree boy. Maturity had appeared in his eyes. I felt myself growing old. But life didn't end. I started working as a minibus driver. It was hard, but interesting work. Every day brought new people, new stories. One day, an old man got on. We started talking. It turned out he had once been a history professor. He told me, "Son, people are always rushing somewhere, but the meaning is not in the road, it's in knowing where you're going." Those words turned my life upside down. I began reading more, books I once ignored, and I realized even at 50 you can discover a new world. Natalia laughed at me. "Imagine, my husband's become a bookworm." But I could see she was proud. We found each other again. After so many years of marriage, we started talking like in our youth. Serhiy returned from the war. He began working as an engineer, as he had dreamed. He married, and Natalia and I became grandparents. When I first saw my granddaughter, I understood life is a circle. Now I live more calmly. I work less, spend more time with my family. But I often recall my youth, the army, my first love, the losses. Sometimes I wonder, what if I hadn't gone to the army? Would life have been different? But then I realize everything that happened brought me here, to this very moment, and I am grateful. Because life is not only joy, but also pain. And without pain, there can be no true joy. Now I look at my grandson and see a part of me lives in him, and that gives me strength to go on. Natalia and I sometimes take evening walks, holding hands, just like in our youth. And I think how good it is that we endured through all those hardships. In life, the main thing is not how much money you have in your pocket, but who is beside you in the hardest moment. I realized this too late, but I did realize it. I'm 53 now, but I feel happy. Because I have a home, I have a family, I have memories. And when people sometimes ask me, "What have you achieved?" I answer, "I simply lived." And that's not little. Life is not a competition, it's a journey. And the most important thing is always to go home.